10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi and welcome to Dax Chats. On this episode, we're getting to speak to an Australian that lives in Nashville. Yes, another one. She's followed in the footsteps of the likes of Keith Urban and what's his name? I can't remember. But other people have followed in the footsteps of her as well, including recently Troy Kemp, which she's had some time to speak to as well. Today, Dax Chats to Katrina Burgoyne, and here she is right now.
Hi, Matt. How are you?
How are you, Katrina? I'm very well as can be expected during the current situation here in the world right now.
Yep. I know. We're just talking about that. It's just like, just be as happy as you possibly can, and you're doing good.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Now, obviously, there's a lot to talk about. You have not really released a single for the last 6 years, and then you've come out with this one. And 3 years ago, you decided to pack up everything. I believe you're from Gunnedah. You packed up everything from Gunnedah and off you went and moved to Nashville. Tell us about your journey from leaving Australia and moving to Nashville.
Well, it was a long process. I think I made the wish to move to Nashville back in 2011, and it took me till 2017 to move out. So it was a 6-year process. I started coming out here. I came out in 2015, where I saved for a year, and I came out for 3 months. And I remember I used to walk down West End Avenue 6 miles home with my guitar on my back and my computer in my hand, and just walking in the middle of summer. My shoes would fall apart. I used to walk 6 miles to and from co-rides because I couldn't afford a cab or an Uber, and eating toast I put on a whole dress size. Don't try it at home. And then I went back home to Australia, and I thought, I can't do this again. I had moved out of my home. I had no house. I had, moved back in with my mum. I moved back to Gunnedah, and I'm like, I can't keep sending myself broke to go to Nashville once a year. So I ended up just applying for my visa. Thankfully, I'd done the groundwork in Australia to qualify, and it took me. It was It was about a 3-year process to move out. Yeah. But it's been a fun adventure.
It takes a bit of time. I've just had a chat. Actually, last night, seeing it this morning there for you. Last night, I spoke to Troy Kemp, who's a new addition to Nashville.
Yeah.
And you've been very helpful in getting him started in Nashville. You've actually helped him with your car while he was trying to go out and find a car.
You won't believe my car hasn't started for 2 weeks. So my car's sitting in the parking lot, and I think the battery's flat or something. But we haven't ever needed 2 cars. I'm like, we keep saying we'll do it tomorrow, and we haven't done it. But I lent my crappy little car to Troy when he first was looking for cars. So I'm glad it worked when he used it.
Well, he absolutely sings your praises.
He's a sweetheart. I love hearing.
He spoke to me last night. He's very thankful for everything you've done for him so far.
Sweet.
He's an amazing character. He's an amazing bloke.
He is.
I love him.
Yeah, he is a good guy. When he came out, him and Alicia, I think it's like having, and actually this is so funny, Troy and I just realized we're related.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I said to him, I said, it's like having, like, it's like having family in Nashville. Like, they live just across the street. Well, I haven't seen him for a few weeks, actually, but, it's just a funny, crazy time right now. Like, I know as soon as things open up, he's going to be working like crazy. But until then, it's, we just got to hold out and wait.
So in the 6 years that you've sort of not been doing anything, you actually have been doing things. You have been very, very busy. You've written with some amazing people, not only in Nashville, but back in Australia. A couple of people I've spoken to this week. Caitlin Thomas, you wrote this, what is it? First Kiss.
I wrote her First Kiss song with her, yeah.
First Kiss in Tamworth, yes.
Yeah.
Tell us about that day.
Well, you know what? It's crazy. Throughout that Tamworth, so I actually fell sick with sinusitis, and I'd lose my voice all the time, like for 18 months since moving out here. And so I could only make an income from playing music in the USA. And being chronically ill, I had 2 surgeries and tried to get healthy, and I still wasn't healthy. So I ended up going back home for Christmas one year, and I was home for about 2.5 months. And so actually in the day, Caitlin and I had booked in to write together a day in the Tamworth Festival. And as I was writing with her, I was like, oh my gosh, I hope the day of, I'm like, I hope I have a voice to do it. But thank God she's a great singer and she took the reins for me. So it was really great. She's a sweetheart. She is a real sweetheart. And I tell you what, I follow all her stories on Instagram because she's got a beautiful German Shepherd. And if I spun this around, you'd see our German Shepherd laying on the ground getting pat. So, yeah, she's a sweetheart. I love her.
Well, she sings your praises too, of course.
That's sweet.
I've talked to a lot of people in the last week that have actually sung their praises about you, and
that's so sweet.
It's so wonderful that the community has come together, and they're all supportive of each other, and great. And the other one that I spoke to, he's not Australian. You've got a damn hit on your hands over in New Zealand. Jaden Shingleton. Now you mentored him in a songwriting thing in the academy. Yes.
So I tell you what, that song, it's one of those things when I had this idea in my book for a little while called Damn Love, and I was mentoring at the CMAA Academy, and excuse me. Then it was one of those days when I still couldn't sing. It was that whole same trip. And that day I really couldn't sing. And I was like trying to sing this. I said, I have this idea called like Damn Love. And I was talking like this. And I'm like, I heard his voice and I knew he was an incredible singer. And I said, to write a song, like a Chris Stapleton song. And I said, I just really connected with him. And it was one of those things where I would never give away one of my gems unless it was to someone absolutely incredible. And I had this idea, Damn Love, in my book for a long time. And I'm like, I can't sing it, but he can sing it. And I feel like he needs to be the person to sing this little idea. So here I am going like, I had this idea. It's like, damn love, damn love. It's like singing like this. And he goes, what do you mean? Like, damn love. And he just like kills it. And so, yeah, and he's such a great guy. I love him. He's like, I really connected with him in the room. It was like, sometimes you have those people where you meet and you feel like you've known them for forever. And he's a killer. He's a great guy. So that went #1 on the iTunes chart. So that's been pretty cool. I've spent the last, since I've released last time, 6 years, financially getting myself to a position where I could release again, moving countries. And I know you've done the same thing, so like you move countries and it's like you land here with 3 suitcases, you pay the excess luggage, but you land with nothing. And I had to build myself up here. And in that time, I went on the hamster wheel of Nashville, where you're riding like 2 to 3 times, at least once a day. But, you get on the hamster wheel and it just doesn't stop, and you write all these songs. But I always find that's not what I like to do now. I normally like to write 2 to 3 times a week, but you know, I find the more I write, I've got so many songs, but I can't connect with them. I need time to build a relationship with them. That sounds a little different. Yeah. So, yeah, but it's cool to actually, it was probably a year and a half ago where I said to my boyfriend, I said, I think it's time that I start writing my record. Like, I'm ready to record now. So it's funny, in the last year and a half, just writing these new songs that are for my project. And it's a different mentality when you write. It's so much easier to write for other people.
So Jaden Shingleton also sings your praises, because I spoke to him this week as well. Wow.
I love him.
What an amazing bloody voice that guy's got. And do you know that the Country Thunder Network is the only radio station outside of New Zealand that is actually playing the song?
No.
How's that?
Oh.
I just can't understand how New Zealand artists don't get their music out there, you know, and like Jaden's one of them. It's just a brilliant song. It should be out there in the world. And
it's a great song. And the way it sounds amazing. Production on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, let's get past that. Let's get back onto your personal journey. You have a brand new single, but I want to ask a question, because I've looked at your website. Of course, you know, I have to research things. And there is a song on an EP that has never been commercially released. It was done in 2015, and you used it to finance your trip to Nashville.
Good.
Now, there is a song on that track, on that EP, that's called "When It All Falls Down."
Mm-hmm.
Are they two different songs?
You are an investigator, I tell you what. So in 2016, when I was moving on out to Nashville, I moved out 2017, but 2016, I put out a GoFundMe campaign, and I created an EP. Well, it's kind of an album. It's like 8 tracks. Yeah. So to give them back, you know. So and I had a friend, Michael Moko. I don't know if you know Melody Moko.
Melody Moko, yeah. So we did this exchange. Like, I'm all about the exchange. If you can swap something for something rather than monetary, you know, a service for a service. So I did all the photography for their wedding. And then Michael demoed some songs for me that were for the record. So basically it was like a bunch of high quality demos, I guess you could say, that were on the Nashville record. Now I have a few copies. Every now and then I'll reprint them and I've got CDs to sell at gigs, and I'm really proud of that record. It sounds really great. And because of the response from the record, there's a few gems on there, to be honest. And one of them, I've got another one of that, which I've redone, that will come out officially. But because I never commercially released it, and I didn't want to bring out the songs that were just specially made for that project either. Yeah. So a lot of my fans and supporters were saying, man, I love It All Falls Down. Can you release that properly? So that kind of led us to re-recording that song, and Steve, my boyfriend, reproducing it. And then, you know. There you go. See, I am investigative journalist. There you go.
You did that's very sneaky.
But the new track is obviously reproduced and redone, and it's a brilliant track. It's a catchy track, and a lot of people say that you've got this sexiness to your songwriting.
Oh, I like that. You know what? It's so interesting. That song was actually written for a male to sing. So I wrote that with a guy called Jordan Broker, who was going out for CMC Rocks this year, but it got cancelled. So, and Jordan and I would always sit in a room and tend to write all these kind of, I call them saucy songs, a little bit saucy. So, Jordan, there was another song we wrote called, it's like your backs up again, back up, as if your back's up against the wall or something like that. And basically, I don't know, we always tended to write these saucy songs. And when I'd write with Jordan, we always wrote for him. He had publishing, and he had was in talks for a record deal. And so we kind of wrote with him in mind to record it. And It All Falls Down was a song that Jordan, it kind of never got picked up, but we're looking for an up-tempo song when I was doing that Nashville record, and It All Falls Down was the last song that was picked for that record. And as time goes on, I'm like, maybe I would sing it at gigs. From perspective, I'll change the words. I think the original, my version is touching your chest, losing my dress, and the original version was a male saying, you're touching my chest, losing your. So we swapped those. I swapped those words around to record it, and I played at gigs, and everyone would love it. So and after so many people reaching out, actually, there's a New Zealand girl called Grace Kelly who says, "Can you please record It All Falls Down? I love that song." So and a few other people have said it, musicians as well. So I thought, let's do that. Let's re-release this song. And, we actually recorded a full record in COVID, in lockdown. So that's what we did over lockdown. It was fun. So we've got lots more songs coming out, but that's how that eventuated. That's how that eventuated into being a release.
Cool. So, I do have to ask about the pandemic. Obviously, you just said that you've been recording during the pandemic. How hard has it been to navigate the new normal in Nashville?
To be honest, I'm pretty solitary. Like, I don't really hang out with people. I just love being at home and writing. It's really sad. I love my solitude. Like, I love sitting at home and writing. And I think maybe the more I do it, the more I love it. But if I was in a situation where I go out and be around friends, I would love that too. And I probably want to do it all the time. But I think it's just because I kind of coped okay with the lockdown. The new normal is interesting. We're wearing masks everywhere. I wear masks to the gym. Like, I'm working out, like doing cardio in like a mask, which is hard sometimes. Yeah. But, I think it's just like everyone's doing their own part to, try and try and, keep this virus, like squash it.
Kick it, eradicate it. Yes.
Yeah. So everyone's playing their own part. It's an interesting time right now here, just the political side of things in America. It's a very torn country right now, but apart from that, I just have to remember, I have to focus on the things that I have control over and try and be as happy as I can, and that, with what I can control. So
for sure. So what is coming? I mean, you've done, within COVID, you've done these awesome virtual shows. I've managed to watch a few of them. They are fantastic. I did see the episode you did with Troy Kemp.
Yeah.
That was a laugh.
That was fun.
Yeah. And I've always seen you. I do see your boyfriend from time to time behind the thing. He doesn't like to be on the camera much. He likes
to press. So funny. It's like very funny. He actually plays guitar too, and so it's like when I get him out and to play the guitar with me, and on the screen, he's like, "Oh, I prefer to be in mission control." He calls it mission control. Yep. So he is funny, and like I'll say, "Hey Steve, how you doing?" And we've got this camera on him, so it goes onto him, and he'll say, "Good, thank you." Back to you, Kat. Like it's funny, and it's actually kind of become like everyone kind of like goes, "Hi Steve," like everyone loves loves it. So it's just his quirky little way of it's great. He's incredible. we actually bought a switcher device to switch cameras and try and have a high quality live stream back when the fires in Australia were happening. And we we're going to do a live stream fire, raise money for it. And we're going to get some few artists involved and stuff. And then by the time the switcher arrived, it was flooding in Australia. And I'd already been involved in a lot of things around town that were trying to raise money for the wildlife and things like that. So the kind of, the moment had passed. But the day, basically it was St. Patrick's Day, I played my last show, and I said, I come home, and on my way home, I said, Steve, I'm out of work. I've got no more gigs. I'm done.
Yeah.
And at that point, I thought it was just till the end of the month, So, I thought I've got 2 weeks off. And, but thankfully, Steve jumped into action. He's like, all right, fine, then let's do live streams. That's how we're doing it. So I went live, and we started these live streams on a Wednesday. I think it was the 17th of March, and we've been doing them Wednesdays and Saturdays, and but now we've taken it back down to just Wednesday. It's a lot of setup, it's an hour setup to be ready for the show. So yeah, it's an hour setup, an hour packed down. It's like a 3-hour gig, really.
That's right. Now
we have a great time.
In one of your episodes just recently, you were doing a video for a virtual concert, and I believe you actually sang the song with the band in a virtual setting.
Yeah. So I was fortunate enough to be a part of a festival called Country Beat Jamboree, and we had artists on there. I know when I played we had artists, I know, let me just try and think. Tennille Arts, feel like I want to say David Campbell was on there, Walker Hayes, Palmer Lee, Essex County, Catherine Britt was on as well, and Tennille Towns wasn't on. I don't think she was on. But yeah, so and it had such a reach as well. It's Country Beat magazine, and their newspaper network reaches their magazine network reaches over like 2 million people. So we went into a studio, and Steve. Look, this is Steve's brainchild. Like, he's one of those people that's like, I said, okay, we have to do a live stream, and he's like, and it gets the ability to reach over 2 million people. He goes, let's do it properly. So we ended up going in and filming the show in a studio. When I say studio, I mean like a photographic film studio, not a, so we filmed that, and it was great. We had a blast. It was a full live band show. I will be sharing it all soon. It has already aired. So it aired on Saturday last weekend, Country Beat Jamboree. And I have released the It All Falls Down live version. So that's now on YouTube, which is really great too. So you can see that. But yeah, I will be doing the whole full the live stream of that. Yes, but it come up great. I was really impressed. I'm just very blessed that I have a lot of people in my life that help me out and believe in, and so it was pretty cool.
It was. I mean, I from what I've seen of it, I've only seen the snippet that you showed on your live feed show, your Cat and Steve show. I only saw that snippet because you were it was airing the Saturday after you actually done that Wednesday show. So you just showed backstage footage, this is what we're doing.
And that's fun too. That's something that I've got all this content, like, because we try and collect content for our live streams. So we'll like go, and this is what we did this week, and then we'll have a little video, or I'll take you into a songwriting room with me, just something to keep it interesting. And we've got a behind the scenes video for it that I've got all this content lined up to share with you all. I haven't been keeping it secret, I promise, but just trying to, I got all this content. I don't want to just dump it at once and say, there you go.
It's true. You've got to keep momentum. So you've got to let it come out a bit at a time. So
Slow
that
drip.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me this morning. Go and grab yourself a coffee.
Yeah, I'm so ready for it.
Yes, and thank you so much for your time today, Katrina.
Thanks, Dax. You're a legend. Thanks for having me. Thanks for playing my songs and supporting me. I appreciate it.
Anytime, darling.
You stay
Anytime.
safe out there too.
You too. All right, darling.
Bye, darling.
See ya. That was Katrina Burgoyne, and her new track is called It All Falls Down, and it is playing on the Country Thunder Network, and you can vote for it on the Country Thunder 20 charts. So do that. Until next time, this is DJ Dax signing out for Dax Chats, proudly supported by Neon Horse in Stanhope, Victoria. Bye for now.